Hi there, I'm Neil, and today we'll be drawing a gingerbread person, and we'll be assembling this character from shapes like we've done in our other videos. So we've got the Santa Claus video and the snow person video, so let's draw a delicious looking gingerbread person. So, as always, I like to start with the head, and then really build out all the shapes of the body. So we'll start with a circle for the head, and then we'll do a box for the sort of the tummy area, like this. And when I draw the box, I'm trying to make sure that I have the same amount of space on the right side of the head and the left side of the head, like that, so that the body and the head don't feel like they're shifting sideways from each other. So now we'll draw some box arms and legs. And then once we do the cleanup part, we will actually round out the edges. They'll only look boxy for a moment. So let's take a look at this. So here's one arm. And gingerbread people always have their arms out. It's kind of fun. Seems like they're cheering. Okay, so there's two arms. They're not quite perfect, but I mean, it's a cookie, so that's probably okay. And we'll do boxes for the legs as well. So if maybe I'll just finish off these boxes. They would look something like this. We won't really see those inner lines, these crisscrossing ones that cross into the body, but that's okay. It's good to start messy and get all our shapes down and everything looking the way we want it before we start worrying about details. Okay, so there's the body and the head and the arms. So now what we'll do is we'll actually start adding a few features just so we can clean them up later. So I'll add a couple buttons to the tummy, and those are usually little round candies. So those are perfect to do as little circles like that. And then for the face, it's usually very simple, just two eyes and a mouth. So as I usually do, I just draw a line up the middle of the head, just so it'll help us put different features in the right spot. And then I'll draw a line across the middle of the head like that. So let's draw the eyes. So we'll just do two little circles like this. 1, 2. And then we'll draw a mouth. So what I'll do for this is I'm just going to draw a little curve. And when we clean it up, we'll actually make it look like icing. So that's looking really good. So what we'll do is I will draw over top of this one, and we'll clean it up, and we'll make some adjustments as we go to make it look a little more like a cookie. So one thing I know about these gingerbread cookies is that there aren't any hard like edges or corners, I guess. So what I'm going to do is anywhere that there's a hard corner, I'm going to round it out a little bit like this. And I think that's because of the way the batter of the cookie actually spreads out when you put it on the pan and you cook it. And then I'm also going to round out the ends of all these arms and legs like this. So I'm really just trying to make sure that everything's nice and rounded and feeling just deliciously cookie-ish. So I'm doing this leg now, and I'll just round out the toe part like that. I'm just going to tidy this up. I got a little extra messy there. That's all right. So we'll fix up this leg as well and round out the toes. I think I actually made this leg a little too long, so I'm just going to make it shorter while I'm cleaning it up. And then we'll round out these arms, or the hands, I guess. And now the head. So it's pretty much the same as the rough drawing. I'll just make it darker, and we'll get rid of those lines. They're called construction lines, actually. All those little lines inside, we're constructing a character from shapes, and we're letting all those shapes overlap on purpose, but what it does is it makes your final cleanup drawing that much more solid feeling, because everything's, the right proportions, and it's all based on shapes. So let's draw the eyes. There's one eye, there's two eyes, and I'm letting them be a little bit wobbly, because if they're made of icing, it's hard to get everything really perfect. So it's kind of fun to add little intentional imperfections. So Let's do the mouth as well. Like this. And I think this would be a perfect drawing to do a what if treatment on. With Deanna, we could add all sorts of things to a gingerbread person character. But for this one, we'll keep it very standard, you know, the ones you see in the bakeries and everything, your usual kind of gingerbread person. So we'll draw that candy and this candy. And now what we'll do is we'll put some little squiggly lines to show, like they'll be icing lines, but they'll be the cuffs of the sleeves and the pants. So we'll just do a squiggle like this. It's kind of like a Charlie Brown shirt squiggle, if you know Charlie Brown. And why I keep redoing it is I want to make sure that my line doesn't get too close to the other squiggle line. There, that's better. So we'll do this one on this side. And I'm trying to make them different from each other because that's just more natural for a cookie. It wouldn't be perfect. But I want it to look like someone tried to make it perfect, which is kind of tricky to do. There we go. And now we'll squiggle on this side. And then we'll just draw a squiggle here. This would be like the bottom of the sweater. There we go. And I'm just going to darken up a few of these lines because I can see they're faint, like more faint than the other ones. That's kind of cute. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will color this in high speed. I'm going to color it just your standard gingerbread brown color with some cream colored icing and maybe, I don't know, blue and yellow for the buttons, but please feel free to color it however you'd like. And we'll play this through at high speed and we'll see you at the end. There we go. There's a gingerbread person. And when I was coloring it, I did a little trick that you might want to try sometime, but I put some little white, they're called highlights, on the buttons, these little white dots, like right here and here. And what it does is it makes them look shiny. So because the rest of the gingerbread person is not shiny, it looks like they really stand out because those parts should feel more like candy than the rest. So that's kind of a fun trick. So feel free to play with that one, and we'll look forward to doing a what if with a gingerbread person with Deanna. See you next time.